Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Really excited and always delighted to be joined by the lovely Kathleen Bradley, my co-host.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here as always. And we've had some great shows. And so we're going to continue the legacy of the show by having some of the fabulous, most entertaining, most world-renowned artists on the show. And we're very fortunate today to have one of these persons right in front of us. Sure. And who might that be?
Sure. Well, I think it could be Jeff Lorber, somebody whose reputation, just so precedes himself. He's very modest and really humble about the accolades. 31 albums later, worked with everybody in the business. We were just fortunate to have the Laws on today. He's worked with them and Gerald Albright, Eric Benet, Karen White. We go on and on with all the different people he's worked with and discovered. A person I think you may have heard of, Kenny G. And that wasn't enough. He had to essentially create an entire genre, really, of jazz fusion, bringing the best of R&B. We were just talking about work with Chaka Khan and people of that nature, and funk, which is definitely amazing. So, welcome, young man.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Wow, that's quite an introduction. Thanks a lot.
What you've done has been amazing, and I know it's serious circumstance that brings you here. And I wanted to really, just from the bottom of my heart, sincerely, just under these circumstances of the recent fires, to take time out with what you've experienced to come to our humble studio. We really feel like, thank you is hardly an appropriate word or vehicle, but it's all we have. And we're really appreciative of you being here today.
Yes, well, you're home to be devastated by the fires that we've had recently here in the Los Angeles area, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, and all the way to Altadena, Pasadena, throughout the city. It has really rocked us all to our knees.
That's
and
right.
We have all been humbled to a degree, whether we've been affected by it directly or indirectly, because it all becomes a trickle-down effect, even when you think about the people that clean the house, the gardeners, the people who care for the house, and most definitely the homeowners, people renting, and your lives have just been so displaced.
Yeah.
And we are very sorry to hear about that. If you'd like to talk about that briefly.
Well, nobody saw this one coming, I don't think. And, I've been there for a long time. I moved to LA in around 1980, and somebody told me the Pacific Palisades was a cool place to live. My manager at the time, actually. And because I think he might have grown up there, had a house there or something. And it is a beautiful place. It's sort of like a little small town. It's a little village right between Santa Monica and Malibu. And it's over the years, it's really gotten more populated, and it's gotten to be an even nicer place to live in terms of there's some really cool places to eat and hang out. And I was really happy there. And, we just didn't see this coming. But, life throws some, curves at you, and you just got to accept it with and try to learn from it, try to, grow from it, I guess. And so there's no other option, really, unfortunately.
And the sad thing about the belongings that you had, I'm sure you've had Grammy award-winning records and platinum albums and all the accolades and things that really are, regardless, very endearing to you and always will be. That just can never really be replaced.
Yeah. And I had some really wonderful instruments that I collected over the years, so I'm definitely going to miss those. But luckily, a lot of that stuff is still out there. If you can, you can still buy some of that stuff.
It is.
The important thing is I'm okay.
Yes.
My wife's okay. We got 2 cats. Okay. We, they made it out. We were sort of very late in evacuating because we thought we kind of saw different things happen. And we said, I think we really dodged the bullet this time. But when we saw, we live on a canyon, and the whole situation on the canyon eventually seemed like it wasn't so threatening anymore. But then we saw houses on the other side of the street catching on fire. And there were fire trucks all over the place, but we just decided that it might get too dangerous to stay up there. So we left around 6 p.m. on Tuesday last week. And I think we were probably one of the last people out of there because there was nobody else driving around. They had already, cut off Pacific Coast Highway and Sunset and everything else. And everything was just on fire. It was frightening. The wind was just blowing like crazy. And, finally, when we got to Santa Monica, things were like normal, a little, normal. But until then, everything else was pretty. It was like a movie or something
We are so grateful.
Very frightening.
We're so grateful to have you here. Thank
Yeah,
you
so that's
much
the
for
main thing.
coming.
We're happy too and we're making the best out of it. Try to be positive. And I already got like a little rig with the keyboard and a computer, and I was this is my first time actually playing a keyboard today since the whole thing happened, and it really felt good. And so yeah, we'll just make the best out of it. What can you say?
Yeah. Talk to us about the therapeutic value of music, not only in your life or whatever you may have turned to during this time to keep positive and stay upbeat.
Well, I have a theory about music, which is that people that are musicians and even people that are huge fans and love music a lot, they're like they swim in it. They're like fish swimming in a different ocean, or somebody, marching to the beat of a different drum. You just love it and you just want to be part of it. You want to learn about it. You're fascinated by it. You just enjoy it, and it's so powerful. The power of a song, like one song, that everybody can listen to. I was very fortunate. Like one of the groups that I worked with was this band from Portland. I used to live in Portland, Oregon. There was a group called New Shoes, and they had a song called "I Can't Wait" that was like a big, monstrous hit record that I was really involved in working on that record. I was really involved in working on that record, and I've stayed in touch with those guys over the years, and I've noticed that, as time goes on, people still like that record. People want to sample it and want to hear it. Mm-hmm. And, Motown music, that's a perfect example. That stuff never goes out of date. Sure. And even classical music doesn't go out of date. So I think it's just powerful. It speaks to people's souls. It's hard to explain, but it can really, it can take you away from your troubles. It definitely can do that. And it can make you feel really good with the rhythms and the melodies and, there's so many different aspects of music that are fascinating to, when you're a musician, you have to study all of them and you can't just enjoy it. You have to be able to just listen to music and analyze it in every way. You got to be able to analyze the chord progressions and the form, and the way it's been recorded, and the way it's been mastered, and all the different ingredients that make it work. And every song is different, and every song has like a different. And by the same token, like as far as becoming a musician, we were just talking about a lot of our friends, like Angela Winbush and Paul Jackson Jr. So different people that I've worked with, and that you guys know, and everybody finds their own path. It's not like becoming a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Everybody finds their own very crazy path to becoming a successful musician. But the one thing that's the same is usually most musicians learn a lot of the same things and can really, really communicate with each other. Like one guy that I had the pleasure of working with quite a bit was Herb Alpert, who's quite a bit older than me, but we became very good friends. And, we just saw things the same way. When we heard things and we thought they were good, we agreed on that, and we just had a great communication. And that's, I could just go on forever about all this stuff, but it's hard to quantify. But I just think it's music's powerful. It takes people away from their troubles. It has like so many different ways to appeal to your intellect and your emotions, and there's so much music from all around the world. It's all different, and it all tells a different story. So I think I'll just shut up finally.
Yeah, that's right.
About
like
all
the
this.
songs that music makes the world go round, and it does, and it's universal. And what you've done and lending your great talents to the music that you have put out all these years have made a lot of people so happy and spread joy throughout the land. And that's something, that not very many people are able to do. What what made you want to get into the business? When did you first pick up piano?
Well, like I said, I just think people that are born that way, they're just born like, wow, music is great. I love it,
Right.
it was with me anyway. And I was very lucky because my mom played piano. She studied it quite a bit. She was an excellent piano player. And like for my childhood, I would go to sleep and I'd be hearing her play Debussy or Ravel or Gershwin. And she was into a lot of this romantic music and this, it was good music to go to sleep by because it was like dreamy music. And she played it beautifully. And, we always had a piano in the house. And then I had two older sisters. They were like 4 and 6 years older than me. And they both took piano lessons. So they were having fun with piano. So my mom played. And it's like all these people are having so much fun, playing this instrument. I want to get in on it. So I actually started taking lessons at the age of 4.